Hello and welcome to the LPE Author Chat series, where this month we have our special Anthology Edition featuring authors of the soon-to-be released title, True Wealth Starts in the Mind, led by visionary author Lisa M. Jones. Welcome to the broadcast, guys. Thank you for hanging in there for a second. Tonight we have with us Mike and Regina Evans. They have written a chapter in True Wealth Starts in the Mind titled, Are You the One or Should I Look for Another One? Hello and welcome, Mike and Regina Evans.
Hey.
So excited to have you guys on the broadcast tonight to talk about your chapter. I have had the pleasure of reading it already, as others have before. So we're going to jump right into it because our time always goes so quickly on these interviews. So a little bit about you two. So you two have worked side by side in the financial services industry for over 30 years, helping to develop, train, and mentor hundreds of leaders to become successful entrepreneurs, as well as empowering families to take control of their financial future. So let's start with how the two of you met, which is how you opened your chapter in the book. And when I read it, my first response was like, "Oh."
Okay, well, we have different versions of that.
Yes.
So I met Michael at a birthday party, and I was over talking to some friends, and he strolled over there and said to me, I've never seen you before. What's your name? You want to dance? So that's how we met. We began dancing at a party.
And what's his version?
My version, she saw me from the other side of the room and couldn't take her eyes off her brother, you know. I was looking, man, I don't see who that guy is, bro. What's up? So, there's always two different versions. That's the part I remember.
That's the part you remember.
Feeling somebody looking at me and staring at me, you know. And when I looked over and looked in her eyes, I was like, oh yeah, she want me to come talk to her. I can see that.
Oh my goodness. That is hilarious.
So I did come asking for a dance. So
awesome. Okay. So I thought it was interesting that you talked about Mike's mom making a declaration, and the declaration that she had made over your life when you were a young child, saying that you would be the first millionaire in the family. And then Regina wrote about how she was born in the inner city projects of Chicago and experienced a great deal of adversity. But even as a young child, you had a vision of becoming a millionaire, living in a mansion and owning multiple properties. So my question to you is, how important do you guys think the idea, the vision, or the concept of becoming a millionaire at an early age, how that played into you becoming successful now as adults?
Well, I think first of all, Regina's vision was a lot bigger than mine at that time. I wasn't thinking like that, to be honest with you. My mother prayed for me and put that in my spirit. I was just having fun, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to say, hey, I started off back when I was young and I was thinking I was going to be a multimillionaire. No, I didn't think none of that at all.
Okay.
I call it, where they say all things work together for the good. And the Lord just blessed me and saved me and moved me in the right direction to be in a position to move forward and take advantage of it. But it wasn't something I thought of early on. It was something that came to me down the road after seeing some successes that came in my life.
Awesome.
Well,
Regina?
For me, growing up as a child, I always kind of wanted to escape my reality. So I would dream about, being a $1 million earner, being a millionaire, living in a big home, and all of those things. So that kept me grounded. So that was like my therapy coming up, that,
Wow.
escape and just dream about those things happening to me in my life.
Wow. That sounds like a part of Tyler Perry's story.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yeah, how he used that as an escape, the comedy as an escape from his current reality. So that's awesome. So Mike, you talked about a great mentor that you had in your life. How important do you feel it is to have mentors? Share a little bit about the impact that mentors that you've have had on your life.
Well, I think it's very, very crucial. You know, our parents have always been mentors, but outside of our parents, when I talk to individuals, I talk to individuals by making it from a standpoint of saying that it's very, very crucial to have somebody to mentor you because they can take you to another level. So McKinley Deacon Davis, he was a former Harlem Globetrotter All-American with Iowa, and he was the athletic director at Northern Illinois University. I met him down at NIU, where I was the treasurer of the student body, and I got a chance to meet him. And later he began to become a mentor of mine to help me move forward in the process of helping me structure some things that I wasn't thinking the right way, and he was able to add to that. So I think it's always powerful to have somebody that is going to mentor you, that you can trust and like, and that can point you in a direction, who's been through some things in life that can help you. And he made a major, major difference in my life. Another gentleman, you know, in the business was a guy named Ivan Earl, who spent time with me teaching me principles of how to build a business. So it's just a lot of people over the years who have been mentors that has helped me out. You know, a gentleman by the name of Lloyd Tomer, they just helped me out and took me through the scenario that helped me move through and get to be in a better place.
Awesome. How
One,
about
one,
you?
one other person was our pastor, Bishop Arthur and Brazier, you know, for years just put an impact on us and just mentored me through the process, had me do some things that I didn't think I would do, but he had me and worked with me through that particular process. And as you'll hear other people talk about, one of the other greatest mentors in our company was a guy named Art Williams that just poured into us over and over and over again. So it's mentors has been a lot in my life that has made a major difference besides our parents.
Have you had that same type of experience, Regina, as far as mentors?
Yes, and by us being in the business together, a lot of times we receive the same information from, those same mentors, and
Hmm.
also their wives. And in the
Nice.
world that I was in, it was more, like dance leaders and things like that. So I would always find myself wanting to learn and go to conferences and do things like that to self improve.
Awesome. Awesome. So let's talk about the title of the book. True Wealth Starts in the Mind. What are your thoughts about the title? True Wealth Starts in the Mind. Do you believe it's possible for anybody to obtain wealth without the right mindset?
Um, I don't. I think that it really has to begin in the mind because that's where everything begins. Because when you start thinking about a thing and you rehearse it, it becomes part of your character. And when
True.
you start speaking it into the universe, you start acting on those things. And so I think that everything starts with your thinking. So the thoughts that you think, because
Hmm.
just like you can think your way to positive things, you can also think your
Right.
way to negative things. So I think that uh, that's that's where everything begins is with the thought in mind.
Hmm.
I would add to that when you're talking about true wealth begins in the mind, and it
Hmm.
may not be in that person's mind on their own. It may be from something they seen or something they saw or an environment they were in or somebody poured into them and sold them the dream of what it would be like. So I think once you have gotten that inside of you from a mind standpoint, then you begin to think about it and take it to a whole nother level about, man, what if that actually could happen, man? That
Yeah.
would be a big, big deal. So when we say, you know, true wealth started in the mind. It does start in the mind, but somebody can place it there because somebody who's never been out of the city where they live at, and somebody takes them out of the city, it can
Yeah.
expand their mind, and so that's
Mhm.
will give people another big edge to move forward in that arena.
So
It
true.
travels to the spirit. It's the spirit
Yeah,
that catches it.
absolutely, absolutely. And I saw that with my own son when we picked up and moved from Baltimore to Hawaii, and just watching him grow through that whole experience. So you're right, like just that exposure alone made such a huge impact. So I agree with that. So you said that you both agreed that the title of your chapter should be, Are You the One or Should I Look for Another? Tell us about the significance of the title.
Well, that was something that my mother asked me one morning. I'm in the business already, and I came to her house to pick something up one early morning before I was out to go into a meeting. And she stopped me and she had me to look in the mirror. She said, "I got a question for you." And I was like running, running, running. She said, "I got a question for you." I said, "What?" She said, I want you to look in the mirror when you ask this question. I want you to look at yourself." And she said to me, she said, "Mike, my question is are you the one?" or shall we look for another one? And I said, what are you talking about? She said, are you the one or shall we look for another? I mean, are you the one that's going to be the first millionaire in our company, in our family? Or are you going to be the one or shall we look for another one? And I said, where'd you get that from? That's deep, man. What you talking about? You know, she had me look in the mirror and talk to me about that. But the point is that she had already prophesied in my life early on that I would be the one in that arena. And as I grew up in the business and saw some significant moves to happen, it allowed me to understand what she was talking about. But that piece just stuck out in my gut and in my spirit, that when Lisa asked us to co-author or be one of the authors inside of the book, I said, she said, if you could write on one chapter, what would it be? And that came in my spirit and said, are you the one or shall you look for another one? And when people read the book, they'll see the power and that somebody got to be the person in their family to make a decision, that we ain't going through another broke generation. We're not going out like this no more. Somebody got to make that decision to move forward. And we're going to ask the question in everybody's family, are you the one or shall we look for another one? Because somebody got to make a decision to make this thing go.
Wow. That is deep.
Create that legacy.
Yeah, all about the legacy. Right. So, what would you say, and I know that probably was one of them for you, but what would you say was a defining moment that caused the shift in your life, the mindset shift in your life?
What caused the what caused us to shift it in our life, for us to move from talking about thinking about being wealthy and that kind of. Okay. Go ahead.
I think it was just the initial coming into this business, being green, inexperienced, and had people to mentor us and open our eyes to things that we were never exposed to. So it was really coming into a brand new world, a brand new culture. And so, it was exciting. And so that was one of the driving forces. And then I think the two of us became on one page. But for me, it was that first trip to Hawaii in 1987 because I love to travel. And when we went on that trip, that just sealed the deal for me. I was like, okay, what do we have to do in order to continue to be able to do these types of things?
Wow. So you got a taste of the good life.
Yes.
And you said, I want this from now on.
Yes.
That's awesome. So my next question to you, what would each of you say is one key element to obtaining wealth?
One key element to discipline.
Oh, that was mine.
That was yours. Discipline. Discipline, really. Discipline. Because people don't plan to fail, they just fail to plan and they just procrastinate too much. And we all got some of it in us, and I did as well. But discipline is going to be one of the things that come to my mind. When you ask that question, that's the first thing, as she said and I said, first thing come to my mind is they need to be disciplined.
And focused. So focus was the other one. So for me, focus. You have to stay focused. You have to sacrifice things that come up in your life that you cannot do in order to stay driven and focus on getting the goals and dreams that you want to achieve.
And that's why we say, people we got to be teaching people how to pay themselves first, and if we can teach people how to pay themselves first, we believe in tithes, 10% to tithes and 10% to ourselves and live off the other 80, but people have got to pay themselves first. My friend Leah always told us, he wrote on a sheet of paper saying, write down everything that everybody you pay. And people write all this stuff down they pay, but then we say, where are you at? You pay everybody else the cable, the lights, the gas, the car, but where are you at? I mean, you pay everybody get paid but you. But we got to go with the concept of being disciplined, but also paying themselves first would be a major, major move.
Okay, that's a good one.
And if they
you even wrote about that.
And if they can't pay themselves first, because of where Regina and I we was like here in debt, car loans, student loans, credit cards, then you got to figure out a way to have another stream of income to make it happen.
That's a good point, because some people might just stop there at the I can't.
Right, and they can go do something else. You got to go do something else. It depends on how bad you want it.
How bad do you want it? That's a good one. Yeah. So your children wrote in the book Also, which is exciting, about the impact that your financial success has had on their lives. And they wrote, because my parents chose to break the generational curse of being broke in our family, we as children have been blessed to grow up to be whatever we want to be because they paid the price for us. That is phenomenal, right? I read that and it just made my heart smile. So, what advice would you give to someone who is struggling financially but has a desire to change their financial future in order to leave a great legacy for their family as you have for yours?
The first thing is don't quit and get a plan, get a mentor, and what else would you
Right.
add to
Don't
that?
quit, get a plan, get a mentor. But the key is do not crucify themselves when
Mm,
things don't go exactly the way you write it out, because nothing is going to be perfect. You're going to have some ups and downs inside of it, but don't crucify yourself or say, "Oh, see, I can see this wasn't for me. This not going to work for me." You can't. You gotta
That
finish the. You
that
gotta finish it.
persistency.
You gotta finish
mm,
it, because everybody who's trying to hit a home run playing baseball, they don't hit a home run every time. Some of them strike
right.
out sometimes, some of them hit a base hit, some get picked off. But that's the same way it is going to be with you fighting for your goals and trying to make a change in your life. You got to not give up, and you got to keep fighting for it and keep believing. But also, it's important that you either change the people you're around or change the people you're around. Because if the
Mm,
people around you are not going to change, you got to change from being around those people, because they can pull you down instead of taking you to the next level. And if you are the
that's
person
good.
in your circle, as you as the biggest person, the highest income person in your circle, you're in the wrong circle. You need to go in a circle where some people are bigger than you, where they can help expand your vision and stretch you to move to
Mm,
the next level. You can't be the big person in the whole group. Let somebody else be that person, so they can show you exactly how to get there, where they're trying to go. Somebody who's been through what you're trying to get through already.
that's awesome. That's good stuff. Regina, anything to add?
No,
That was good.
yeah.
That was good. Wow. Like I said, our time always goes so quickly. So I just want to know, what was it like for you to write in this project? Like, what made you say yes to this?
Well, if you know Lisa M. Jones, there's no saying no to her. I mean, it's no saying no. I mean, it wasn't
I
even on my
know.
radar, wasn't on my page, nothing. And Lisa M. Jones said, "Mike, this ain't what I want you to do. This is what you gonna do. This is what I need you to do. And you and Virginia need to be one of the co-authors with us. And we writing this book, and we gonna do this deal." And she just said, and she's a personal friend of mine,
Yes.
mentored her through the process, through a lot of things in her life. And for somebody like that to call me and invite me to be part of something huge,
Yeah.
something that's going to end up being a bestseller, and having
Hmm.
us to be in a position to just weigh in. So
Yeah.
we have an attitude of gratitude just to be invited into a scenario of this magnitude with the other co-authors that's going to be working with us. So
Right. And we
Yeah.
always want to give back and help other people to move forward and be an example that you too can change your life if that's what you want to do.
Mm, I love it. Well, I'm just so happy and glad that you responded to Lisa being a bully and said yes. Because your chapter is phenomenal. True wealth starts in the mind. And your chapter again is, are you the one or should I look for another one? So, to our viewing audience that's looking at this today, just stay tuned. The book is due out later this month. It is a phenomenal piece of work that is sure to impact a lot of lives. And so I'm so glad that you guys decided to be contributing authors to this piece of work. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
my pleasure.
Any parting thoughts you want to share before we go?
I just think that is very, very important. A lot of people buy books, but I think this is a book they need to read. If they can
Yes.
read each of the chapters from each of the contributing authors, I think their spirit will be blessed, and they'll be able to have an idea of how to get started. From one, they might pick up one or two things from one author, but they can
Yeah.
pick up another and another from somebody else. So they might not get everything from one person, because it's like when a pastor is preaching, he's preaching, and it may not be your turn yet, but then he starts stepping on
Yeah.
toes. He's like, oh, that's me. Oh,
He gonna come down your
man,
row.
he must have saw me. He must have heard what I was doing. And so somebody's gonna step on your toes to get you in a position to move, so that they can touch your why and help you go fight for what you really want.
And the
Yeah.
part of that is don't read a book just to read a book for entertainment. Read
Right.
a book for application to help you to move forward in your life. And so to develop new concepts, new behaviors, new character patterns, new principles. So
Yeah.
that's how you read a book. It's not just to read it, but how can you internalize and capture some of the things that can help you to move forward in your life?
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. And that is exactly how I'm going to read it again. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us this evening for this edition of the LPE Author Chat series, this special anthology edition with the authors from the True Wealth Starts in the Mind book by visionary author Lisa M. Jones. We thank you so much for being a part of the Author Chat series this evening, and stay tuned because there are more authors to come. And if you are someone who is thinking about writing a book, be sure to head over to www.LaBooPublishing.com. Thank you, guys. Take care and be blessed. Good
Thank you.
night.
Thank you.
You.
God bless you as
Thank
well.
you.